Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at the search for Shangri-La. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with special editions on Thursdays. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Moving right along. Mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Does Shangri-La exist? What inspired James Hilton to write his novel? How did the public react to his tale of a utopian land? In 1933, English writer James Hilton published his best-selling novel, Lost Horizon. The story centers around Hugh Conway, a British consul in Afghanistan, his vice consul, Mallinson, an American by the name of Barnard, and a British missionary named Miss Brinklow, and they have all disappeared under odd circumstances. It seems that Conway and the three others were on a flight in a private plane out of Peshawar and then they were hijacked. After flying over the mountains of Tibet, the plane makes a crash landing. However, before the pilot dies, he instructs Conway to seek shelter at the nearby lamasery of Shangri-La. The location is unclear, but Conway believes the plane has progressed beyond the western range of the Himalayas towards the less-known heights of Kunlun mountain range. Conway and his party are discovered by Chang, a postulant at the lamasery who speaks English. They are intrigued as the lamasery is filled with many modern conveniences and food from the fertile valley below. The weary travelers soon learn they have arrived at a mountain named Blue Moon, which is some 28,000 feet high. Mallinson, who is Conway's vice consul, wants to hire porters to leave. However, Chang puts him off. As time goes by, both Barnard and Miss Brinklow are content to stay at the lamasery. Why? Barnard is on the run from authorities for stock market fraud. He is also keen to develop the gold mines in the valley, while Miss Brinklow would like to teach the locals a sense of sin. What of Hugh Conway? For Conway, the contemplative scholarly life suits him. He also has an audience with the High Lama, which is an unheard of honor. Conway learns that the Lama was originally a Catholic monk named Perrault, and he was from Luxembourg. The High Lama claims that he arrived in the Valley of the Blue Moon early in the 18th century. He shares with Conway that once living in the valley, their aging process slows. However, should anyone leave the valley, they will resort to their actual age and die. Eventually, the High Lama confides in Conway that he is on the verge of death and he wants the Englishman to succeed him. After Father Perrault dies, Conway still hasn't decided if he wants to succeed him as High Lama. At this time, he is confronted by his colleague Mallinson, who believes the tale is all a lie. He has hired porters to take them out of the mountains, and the Manchurian girl that he has fallen in love with will accompany them. Conway is caught, divided between two worlds. At length, he decides to leave Shangri-La. What happens next is that they are separated from the porters and both Mallinson and the Manchurian girl die. However, before dying, the girl is returned to her original age, and she died a very old woman. What of Conway? Conway ends up in a French mission hospital in Chongqing, China. Once he regained his strength and was physically ready, he decides to leave on his quest to find his paradise, his Lost Horizon. What then is the lesson of Lost Horizon? For me, it is wisdom without passion is impotent, and passion without wisdom is destructive. Please let us know what you think in the comments. Also comment on whether or not Conway finds his way back to Shangri-La. What of Shangri-La? Does such a place really exist? Unfortunately, this utopia exists only within the pages of Hilton's novel. Or does it? Let's take a look at some of the places that may have inspired James Hilton. A host of Himalayan villages have laid claim to this earthly Eden, often referring to it by the name of Shambhala. However, Tongjian in China's southwestern Yunnan province has officially gone by the name of Shangri-La since 2001. Nicholas and Helena Roerich led a 1924 to 1928 expedition aimed at finding Shambhala. They believed that the Baluka mountain in the Altai Mountains was an entrance to Shambhala, which was a common belief in that region. Inspired by theosophical lore and several visiting Mongol lamas, Gleb Boki, the chief Bolshevik cryptographer and one of the bosses of the Soviet secret police, along with his writer friend Alexander Barchenko, embarked on a quest for Shambhala. Other possible locations included Afghanistan and Bactria. Even the Nazis sent several expeditions with the hope of finding Shambhala. Since the monastery of Shangri-La practiced Buddhism, what do Tibetan Buddhists think of the story of Shangri-La? In Tibetan Buddhist tradition, there is a spiritual kingdom known as Shambhala. It is mentioned in the Kalanchkra Tantra. The mythological relevance is that Shambhala will be the birthplace of the Kalki, the next reincarnation of Vishnu, who will usher in a new age and be ruled by a future Buddha. We have run the gamut, yet to date, we have yet to find the fabled utopia. This brings us to the end of The Search for Shangri-La. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. If you enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a channel sponsor. Your support will enable us to continue putting out quality videos, and buying me a coffee always makes my day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Traveler's Tales. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Kartistos.